Well, what else can we do, right? Let's take a look at that IGEL managed hypervisor. We can run those Windows systems and we can run them immutably. So even if you were to say, you know what, I've got all this great hardware circa 2019, 2020, it may have the wrong processor, it may not have the TPM 2.0 chip, you can actually isolate your Windows workloads and even create them in an immutable environment to run on top of IGEL. We had a couple of customers that came to us immediately after we announced this and said, yeah, we'd love you to run IGEL OS so we can run Windows inside of IGEL OS on unsupported hardware. So we can emulate that TPM chip, we can do all those things, and you can use it as a stopgap as you move towards, say, a browser-based application delivery solution, or you use a VDI or DAS solution, or any number of combinations thereof. IGEL OS still becomes that core, right? Just like Choice Solutions is going to build around all those different things, kind of being that Switzerland, having best-of-breed solutions, you can tailor this to your business, not the other way around. We're not going to force you into using IGEL OS in a specific way. And how do we do that? It's all really through our broad app ecosystem. What we're designed here to do is to partner, and we partnered with over 100 vendors. It's really about 120 at this point to make native apps. So whether it's Windows 365, whether it's Omnissa Horizon, whether it's the Island browser, whether you're using Citrix, all of those are supported for us. We have native now progressive web apps. We just introduced those. So the entire Google suite and the entire Office suite can now be run as progressive web apps on IGEL OS. So a lot of the challenges to wide-scale deployment of IGEL OS, where it used to be thought of as a thin client OS, now are completely mitigated. You can run thick apps on that. Or again, with combinations of your IGEL managed hypervisor or your VDI, you can run some of those heavier workloads that you might need to for, say, manufacturing, Autodesk, CATIA, some of those workloads. You can now run those either locally or run them in VDI. But we'll support all kinds of different solutions for monitoring, right? We saw ControlUp as a partnership with Choice, running that as a digital user experience, something Dana talked about initially, having that digital user experience be as clean as possible, ensuring that your end users are able to do exactly what they need to do, that they're not perceiving any kind of slowdowns, they're not perceiving any kind of hiccups in that service delivery is great. And then we support any number of different peripherals. So I'll talk about those in just a moment. But realistically, what we're looking at here is this is the IGEL Ready ecosystem. So we have everything from unified collaboration. So for call centers, we're finishing up Avaya, we're finishing up Five Nines, we're finishing up Ring Central for native use inside of IGEL OS. Of course, we have offload capabilities. So if you're running those inside of a VDI, we have offload capabilities for that as well to make sure that user experience is the best you can have. But we support everything you could pretty much imagine. And if it isn't supported, it's going to be very shortly. We're constantly adding new members to the IGEL Ready family in order to make sure that we can run in whatever kinds of context that you want. So just architecturally, here's what it would look like, right? This is kind of a day in the life of the IGEL OS ecosystem. We have everything running on thin devices, all-in-ones, mobiles from our partners like HP, LG, Lenovo. It's all centrally managed through our UMS, which Trent alluded to and I've talked about very briefly. And that's going to allow us to connect to VDI, to DAS from any of the major vendors, right? We support Amazon Web Services, Omnissa, Microsoft, Citrix, Parallels, Vision. Doesn't matter to us. We're not going to lock you into any vendor for who you want to connect with. We have apps natively for all those. And of course, through various different browsers, we support our own Chromium-based browser, the IGEL, or the Island browser, excuse me. We support the Citrix Secure Enterprise browser, and we're continuing to add browsers like Edge, Firefox. All of those are natively supported as well. So being able to take this secure operating system endpoint that cannot be compromised and then allowing you to run secure browser-based applications on it is really an awesome way to deliver services. And from this too, we've introduced a lot more new modules. One of those for you is going to be the advanced device redirection. We're particularly proud about this. One of the biggest challenges we found when you're running a VDI or a DAS infrastructure is how do you get these specialized peripherals to run and to pass through correctly? Pretty much everything you can think about now will pass through. We spent about 18 months developing this solution so that now everything from generic USB devices to serial port devices, webcams, microphones, biometrics, signature pads, doesn't matter to us, will pass through. So we found this to be extremely important in manufacturing, extremely important in healthcare, which is our number one vertical, and letting this work in, say, a point of sale or a commerce type environment, that as well. So again, we want to bend IGEL OS and its flexibility around your business needs, not the other way around. And that IGEL Advanced Device Redirection supports any number of different platforms. So Microsoft's ADD and the Windows 365 Cloud PCs, Citrix, both for their desktops and apps, Omnissa Horizon, and Amazon Workspaces. And if there's weird scenarios like multi-hop, it doesn't matter. It's an extremely low latency direct connection that we have. It supports things like single and multi-session hosts. So if you're running, say, Windows 10 or Windows 11 multi-session ABD, doesn't matter to us. It isolates to the sessions and allows the devices to be shared if possible, or isolated to a session. And it allows us to do whatever we want to keep those security and compliance there while supporting that. So what does this look like from a management standpoint? How are we managing this entire thing? And that's the power of IGEL OS, right? Otherwise, it's just an operating system that's secure sitting on the endpoint, but you're still going to have somebody manage it. We use something we call UMS 12, and we seem to prefer dark mode everywhere. My background here today, and everything, and our color scheme. What we're able to do here is across the entire enterprise, we create profiles for what apps are deployed. What are the settings for the apps? We can use geolocation for that. We can use group membership for that. We can do any number of different things with integrations that we have. Because again, we integrate with things like Entra ID. So any of the different functions that you have, we can integrate and run those through our UMS. And deploying, again, 10 IGEL devices, or as Trent said, IGELs. I like that. I like the plural of and I say IGEL devices. Yes, 10 IGELs or 10,000 IGELs, right? It's really as simple as what you want. If you're running all in a Windows session, say an AVD session, all you have to do is set up your profile for everyone. Here's where it goes. Here's the server farm that you want, and that's it. And we can even pass those single sign-on credentials from them across, and that's how I sign on every day. So we're integrated with that, and it makes it very simple for us to do things.